Everybody's different.
Hello Frenzy, my name is Kate Shark and welcome back to my channel. Happy Pride, as always, and this episode we are going to be highlighting Spectrum DIY, which is a trans-owned company. It's also the owner or seller, so to speak, is also disabled. And just to highlight there, they have all kinds of neat things, stickers, apparel, mugs. They even have these stickable sticker books, which is basically, if you're like me, I actually have a hard time putting stickers down on stuff because I don't want to put it on something and then have to throw that thing away, or maybe it's an electronic that'll go out in a few years and then be stuck, lose a sticker I really like. So that way you have these books, you can put your stickers in, and you don't have to worry about losing them one day. They're in a safe space, so to speak. But they have all kinds of things. They have all kinds of pronoun stuff. They also have mobility aid things. So they have like these stickers that go on things like your cane, maybe a wheelchair, things like that can kind of help identify. Oh, here we go. These mobility aid racing stripes, which is something you can put them on canes or wheelchairs. I hope I'm right. It just basically does something to kind of spruce up anything if you want to show your pride in that sort of way. There's also shirts that say things like Neurospicy on them. My wife has one because she recently found out she has ADHD. Yeah, she has this shirt here, the Neurospicy, all kinds of cool stuff. And they are in a non-safe area, and they are trying to raise money to get to a safe area as a trans person. So definitely check them out. I'll put the details of their store below in the description, as well as their socials, but definitely check them out. They really have some cool stuff. My wife loves their stuff a lot. So yeah, definitely go check them out. But that being said, let's continue on our way with our stories. So if you recall, the last episode got a little hot and heavy. Was not expecting that. 1 minute we're at the beach, next minute we be fucking. Just quick disclaimer, there are this game does have some flashing stuff on occasion, so if you're sensitive to things like that, you might want to be warned or be forewarned. It's also, this channel, I will say, I would not call it kid friendly at all. Between my cussing, inappropriate jokes I make, and the content I put out, not that it's anything wildly inappropriate, I just don't advocate it for kids. So definitely would not suggest it. And if you are a kid on here, if you're underage, I don't know what you're doing here, to be perfectly honest. I do not mark this channel for kids. Oh my God, Peach, why did you jump up there? Anyway, so let's continue on in our morning afterglow. No, I do not want to save. Hold on. Let's continue on in our morning after. I woke up in Sam's room. It was a warm summer morning. A small metal fan was oscillating back and forth, blowing balmy air into our sweaty bodies. Oh, am I missing something? Is there no... I must have laid awake for an hour on Sam's bed. Sam's arms were languidly wrapped around me. Her long hair was tangled with my hair. That's a mess. And her legs were crossed with mine. I felt her slow breaths on my neck. She must be sound asleep. I tried to remain as still as possible as not to disturb her slumber. I listened to the sounds of the morning. Hold on, I want to see something here. Let's see. Settings. I didn't turn the sound off, did I? No, sound's on. I was left alone with the clarity of my own thoughts. All the while, Sam softly slept. It was dim inside Sam's room. As time passed by, the light of the sun eventually passed through the buildings, unobstructed, and penetrated through the apartment bedroom window. The morning light was not gentle. I felt Sam stirring from her sleep. Once she wakes, I would have to take my leave. Oh, there's a sound. Awkward. Michelle? Michelle? Michelle, I like you. You said more than that last night, sweetheart. I felt her embrace around me tighten. My chest felt pained. I had to fight back tears. I should not feel like this. I had to be stern for my own sake. What happened last night was a one-time thing. I knew in my heart that anything more between us was impossible. I already told Sam. She should know this too. No, you didn't. It was not clear. Sam brushed back my hair. Her eyes met with mine. I could not let it be more than this. I had to push her away. Sam, I have to go. Michelle. Please, Michelle. Please stay. We can spend the day together. Don't be quiet like this. Talk to me. Yes, please. Just say... Can I please just say that? Say what you mean what you say. Because it's so fucking annoying. I can't be like this with you. Sam, I just can't. Hi, Peach. You can sit on my lap. Michelle. Please, Sam. Any more than this, we just can't. Michelle. I'm going to get dressed. I got out of her bed. I picked up my clothes that had been discarded in haste the night prior. I kept my back towards Sam. I didn't want her to see my expression. Whatever she was thinking, I did not want to know either. Hold on, let me see something here. Whatever she was thinking, I did not want to know either. Because she's hurt. I didn't know what had gotten over me last night. I had never done such a thing with anyone. And I never thought I'd be a person who would. I'd always been a reserved and self-controlled person. I would always do my tasks accurately and diligently. No matter how tired I was, I would finish whatever task that was expected of me. I wasn't someone who would let myself be consumed by passion. I smoothed out my shirt before putting it on. It had been tangled with Sam's denim jacket that laid on the floor. In the right mind, I would never discard even a worn sock on the floor and let it get dirty. Why did I do such a thing with Sam? Because you wanted it to. An answer floated up from my subconscious and lingered in my mind. I dared not to even have the thought be uttered. I was frightened by myself. I did something wrong. No, you didn't. I did something shameful. No, you didn't. I had to face my own wrongdoing and go. There was no possibility of anything working out between us beyond this one night. Sam had her thoughts and her own feelings. She lived her life the way she wanted to. And I had my own life to live as well. If I get caught up in her life any more than this, we would just hurt each other more. I wasn't compatible with her lifestyle. And she wasn't compatible with mine. There was no way out of this other than for me to leave. I had to put on my shoes. I was about to take my leave. Sam stood at the door. I tried not to look her in the eyes. Into her eyes. Oh! I have to go back home now. Can I walk you out? You need pants first. Sam, it's okay. I can see myself out. Michelle. Sam, last night, it was something I didn't expect to happen. Michelle. I really can't. I can't do more than this. Michelle, can we talk about it a bit more? Yeah, I think you definitely need to figure some shit out before you just up and leave. Sam, just talking with you, I can't. Please don't ask anything more than this. It's impossible between us. I'm sorry, Sam. I'll be going now. Here's the thing. If you're just down for a fuck, that's fine. No shame. But be honest about that. Which I don't think that's the case. I think she's having some strong emotions, and I'm not discrediting those emotions. However, okay. I took the flight of stairs out of the apartment building. Every step I took created a loud echo of my footsteps. It was as if the narrow stairwell was amplifying my shame up to the entire building. I didn't like it. But I preferred this over being alone in the elevator. I couldn't stand still in an enclosed space and be left with my thoughts. I needed to keep moving. I stepped out onto the street and wanted to get lost in the crowd. But I was alone on the street. It was exceptionally humid outside. Montauk on a cloudy day looked so unfamiliar. Without the neon lights or the bright sunlight to create contrasts of color, the gray concrete buildings seemed all too glum and empty. I suppose it was still early on a Sunday. The crowds were not yet out. Sunday. It was a day with its own certain melancholy. Neither like Monday nor Saturday. Sunday was a bookend to the work week hustle, but it was also the uncomfortable beginning of the next. I didn't like Sundays. I didn't like things that were halfway between something else. I stood on the side of the street and waited for a taxi. I was getting antsy. It seemed like an eternity while we waited. I felt a sprinkle of water from something above. I looked up. The gray skies seemed too low and heavy above me. It was suffocating. It felt out of place to be alone on a street so quiet like this. It was as if I had stepped out into a world that I no longer recognized. And I saw it in a shimmering flash of light. The white dragon appeared. His long body snaked through the dark clouds like ripples in the sky. Shenron? He roared and fired his hot breath down from the heavens. I saw a taxi come my way. I better hurry before I'm caught in a thunderstorm. Oh. I returned home in the afternoon. My shoes were scratched and dirtied. I had come home looking like a mess. I had once again left my blouse with Sam. I had forgotten to grab it on my way out, but this time I had to treat it as a loss. There was no way I could go see her again. Mother? There was no answer. My mother appeared to be out. I felt relieved. I wanted to change and wash up before seeing her. On Sunday, she would usually attend church and then have tea with my extended family. I figured she might have gone out without me. I glanced around the kitchen. I noticed there had been food poured down the sink. My mother, she had waited for me to come home last night. How long did she wait before she realized I wasn't going to come home for dinner? I had lied to her yesterday. I lied to her about the other night before. I didn't come home last night when I said I would be home early. I promised to have dinner with her, but I broke my promise. Fair. I had done a terrible thing. Shang Feng Ha? Oh, God. My mother called out my full name with deliberate intensity. She peered out of her bedroom. Her eyes looked red and swollen as if she had not slept the night prior. To be fair, you didn't call, you didn't do shit, so that is... Mother, where have you been all night? Who were you with? Why didn't you call me? I'm sorry. I didn't get a chance to call you. I met up with my friend, but one thing led to another, and we had sex. And then what? And I ended up making an overnight trip to Saigon. An overnight trip. It'll be the last time for me to see her. So she wanted to have a party before she left. I lied again. Don't know why it had to be like this when it came to anything related to Sam. Huh? What does that have to do with you? Well, she was moving to America. If she was leaving for America, why did you have to be gone overnight? It was a going away party. It went on very late. Anyway, I'm sorry for not telling you. Please don't be too upset. I'm not trying to be upset. I'm just worried about you. I know. You were still young. You should be careful. Careful? Of your reputation. I was married to your father and had you when I was your age. Yikes! Let's see, when my mom was 35, which is how old I am now, she was married for almost 15 years and had 3 kids. So, you won't get men of quality if you go out looking for it in the wrong places. And you certainly won't find respect either. I'm not going to say anything more about whatever you did last night. I just want you to know that I'm disappointed in you. Mother, I'm leaving to meet your aunt. I already missed church, and now I might be late to the opera because I was beside myself with endless worry waiting for you. Lay it on thick, Ma. How was I going to sleep soundly without knowing you were out somewhere all night? To be fair, I get that. I'm really sorry. And it's not like, this is the 80s, so it's not like you could just call on your cell phone to check. You look dirty. You dirty bitch. Oh, sorry, that was rude. You should get yourself cleaned up. I lied again to my mother. There was no way I could tell her the truth about what happened. We shouldn't have to. You just say I was out. She could never accept it. My mother had always had a sharp tongue. She wields it like a blade with such pinpoint precision. Honestly, I'm terrified whenever she turns her judgment on me. Sam, you want to be able to understand why it wouldn't work out between us. I'm not the kind of girl you think I am. The stars look close when you look at them with the naked eye. In reality, they are light years apart, an incomprehensible distance for any mortal being. The distance between me and Sam is too great. I cannot fathom how it will ever how it will ever work out between us. And with the lives that we have as is, the distance between us will only become greater over time. I can't. I just can't. I can't let myself be lost in something so senseless, so meaningless. It was one night's indiscretion, not anything more. I worked so hard to build up the life that I have now, living with my mother. I couldn't let it be changed by something that was never supposed to happen anyway. I needed to prepare myself for tomorrow's workday. I had resolved to end my contract with Sam from the beginning, but somehow, despite my best intentions, things had gone completely against what I had originally sought out to do. I couldn't change what had already happened. It was a momentary lapse in judgment that I have to accept. All I could do at this point was to move on with my own life. I would start by taking a hot shower. After a long day of keeping myself busy, I threw myself onto my bed and shut my eyes tight. There was nothing else left to do other than surrender my thoughts to the void. Hey, get out. Try as I might, I couldn't fall asleep. My thoughts persisted to cycle back and forth between memory and regret. I wanted to turn my mind off. I didn't want to think about anything more. Hey, get down off that. It's not for you. There was already enough on my mind to think about. To think about Sam, I couldn't. It pained me too much to just think about it. I wished for the long night to come to me soon. Oh. The hell was all that? Oh, perspective change. Awesome. Hey, when are you going back to your work? Dad, the World Cup comes only once every 4 years. Does it? That can't be right. I don't have sports cable. You're my only father in this world. Sam, can't I spend some time with you? What are you saying? I'm worried about your future. You think your tapes can keep selling forever? I keep telling you to sell more Cantonese opera recordings. I do have them, but I want to focus more on specific films, though. You're in the tourist area. How about getting in those dubbed versions of Bruce Lee movies? Your brother is doing well for himself teaching Kung Fu in San Francisco. Oh, cool! He's got Americans calling him master. Isn't that great? Yes, that's great. I wonder what kind of Kung Fu he teaches. I'd love to learn Kung Fu. I don't get why you keep all those old foreign movies. People in Hong Kong want to see action films, or something sexy, or something with a bit of both. Be smarter and more serious about your business. I am serious. I'm trying to curate something different. It's not like I'm doing poorly. I'm making money, more than you think. Alright. But don't you think this evening hour is important for your business? Why don't you consider hiring someone to help then? Why don't you have your shop open? Well, I'm watching the football game right now. Huh? Aren't you as bad as me now? It's not like I closed my shop completely. If someone wants my services, they just need to give me a shout. Excuse me? Huh? What was that? Someone's knocking. You have a customer? Oh. Is anyone there? Since you're here, can you get the gates opened up for me? Okay. God, I hate those kinds of shoes. When I first met Michelle, I was charmed at first glance. I like women with sharp eyes. When they look at you with that piercing gaze, I get goosebumps. Anyway, that's probably why when I saw Michelle looking back at me with those eyes, and seeing her dressed to the nines in a pressed blazer suit and her feet adorned... What do you have? Haphazardly with a pair of pink sandals. I have to say it left quite an impression in my mind. I couldn't help to tease her a little. It's in my nature. I can't change this part about myself. Excuse me. Oh, a customer. Wait just a moment. Is she a regular customer? That's none of your business. I got work to do. It's about time you get going. Am I that in your way? Please go. I'm getting hungry anyway. If you're chasing me away, I'll get dinner. I'm not chasing you away. Hey, if you're so free right now, help me pick up some takeout food. What do you want? Anything is fine. Western style or Chinese? Western. Get me a chef salad. Okay, one chef salad. Anything else? Oh, since you're coming back, can you pick up some crickets? Huh? For your prized Oscar fish? What's an Oscar fish? Oh shit. Those guys are crazy looking. Okay. Yes, he's starving for life food. Why can't you just throw in some cockroaches off the street instead? They're free. That's disgusting, my poor fish. Don't they eat bugs? Crazy. Cockroaches will kill it. True, they're crazy. I'm not feeding something so dirty to my fish. If it's that troublesome, just feed it flake food. What? You don't understand. My fish is a primal animal. A predator needs to hunt to satisfy his instinct to live. Alright, I'll get it. Anything else you want me to pick up? Oh, give me a can of Coke on your way back. You can lay there. Alright. I don't always go to see my dad. From time to time we might meet or have dinner, otherwise we don't see each other much. Same. My dad never really knew how to be a dad. When I was a teenager, I got the idea he didn't want to be the moral compass in my life anymore. So I moved out. I learned that so long as my dad didn't know about my business, he had no complaints. Age and time might have softened him, but his heart is still old and conservative. If we were ever together long, we were bound to argue. It was better for both of us to continue living apart. We could live our own lives separately without much intrusion. We had enough to worry about already. He does not need a daughter like me burdening him. Today I just got a feeling my dad might have been lonely. Summertime brings about a certain melancholy in my household. I went to a nearby pet store. It was on the way to the restaurant that I quite liked. What I needed to pick up here for my dad was some fish food. I asked the store attendant for a bag of crickets. I also grabbed a container of fish pellets for good measure. It should make my dad happy. I knew he loved watching his fish feed. Curiously, I spotted the same office lady from earlier. She was looking at the goldfish. She appeared lost in thought in front of the tank. I wondered what she was thinking about. I would say I'm a careful person, a very cautious person even. I know the cues of social conduct. I certainly wouldn't stick my nose in a stranger's business without good reason. Yet there was something drawing me to keep looking her way. Something about the way she gazed at the goldfish in the aquarium that made me feel oddly nostalgic. There was a time in the past when my dad would have brought me to the same pet store. He wasn't even tall enough to look into the fish tanks then. He would have lifted me up onto his shoulders to let me look at all the fancy goldfish. I would look at them with innocent wonder and awe. That was a long time ago. Was she reminiscing a similar memory, I wondered? I know. It wasn't my place to ask. I just felt like the world was a little smaller that night. Michelle Fong Ha Chang? I regretted that I didn't leave Michelle my number. It was on the tip of my tongue when I was sending her off the other night. Why didn't I push to say it? I was playing it too cool, I thought. I was never shy about this kind of stuff, but I really should have given her my contact at that moment. Oh well. I was moping all day about it in the store. It was a typical day for me, business as usual. I would open the store at noon. The first few hours were usually quite slow. It's usually not until late afternoon when people would start to stream in after their school or work. Things would pick up and it would stay pretty steady until I closed the store for the night. It was mid-afternoon when I got a familiar visitor. It was Cecilia. She drops in at my store from time to time to chit-chat. Sometimes it was just to catch up, and sometimes it was to solicit me to spend money at her bar. She usually was a bit of both. She really had interest in movies. Cecilia owns a bar that's quite popular for girls in the know. I hadn't visited her bar recently. There's no particular reason why I haven't gone. Haven't been feeling up to it. Probably made Cecilia feel worried. Cecilia is like a sister and a mentor figure to me. I think she wants you. She had been with me through love-struck pining and love-lorn heartbreak. She had seen me at my best and she had seen me at my worst. Cecilia was probably the only person that I trust enough to talk to her about my personal issues. When things weren't good with my dad those odd years ago, she helped me find work and a place to stay. I used to be so headstrong, especially when it came to everything about what my dad had to say. If I hadn't met her, I'm not sure where I would have ended up. Ah, Samantha. Don't forget to come by tonight. At Performers. I need a big crowd to keep the energy. Of course I won't forget. I wouldn't have dressed up otherwise. You better come. I haven't seen you come by at all these days. Did something happen to you? Not really. I've been busy with the video store, and I haven't been really feeling it. Is that really so? Not feeling it, coming from you. Don't tell me that diamond's losing its shine. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I guess I'm getting older. You're joking. You're so young. I have white-haired ladies that still drop by from time to time. Tell me, is there someone there you're trying to avoid? No? Then why have you been sighing all this time? There must be something on your mind. Really? Have I sighed that much? You have? Is it Mabel? You know, she doesn't work at Ruby anymore. No, there's nothing like that between us anymore. Then what is it? I met this woman. Oh, and that's it. That's it? Unusual of you to be this pitiful. What is she like? Do I know her? Her name is Michelle. I don't think you know her. She's an office lady. I met her the other day when she was getting her shoes fixed at my dad's store. I didn't really get her contact or anything. But I think we had hit it off pretty well. Huh. When did you like vanilla flavor? What? Don't say that about Michelle. Are you delusional? What happened to you? What is it? Let me tell you as your sworn sister. Don't get your hopes up. You don't even know this person. An office lady wouldn't want to have anything to do with you. Fun and games maybe, but don't think it'll be anything more. In fact, someone with an appearance like that is more dangerous than you think. Just because you've had bad experience doesn't make it universal. True. I'm teaching you a lesson. Alright, let's hear about it. Let's see about it then. I think it's something. Something in your head. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. Okay. You're sure confident. It's not like that. I feel we connect. When we talk, I get a good feeling. I know we just met. It's hard for me to explain it. The feeling I have is like one of those stick-on pads for back pain. It starts off icy cold and it gets really hot. You know the ones you buy in the big, bright drugstores? I think it's like that. Like those tiger balm patches? Uh-huh. If you need medicine, you should try the Chinese herbs that I recommend instead. More trustworthy. I don't get why you like this type. I don't know. She seems to me like a straightforward person, but I feel she has something quite interesting underneath her exterior. I want to get to know the person underneath. And I feel she's interested in me like that too. Huh, is that so? I'm surprised. I've never seen you like this before. Don't cry to me when you get your heart broken. Okay, calm. What's this? Like the Chinese version of the L word? I'll try not to. Well, if you do end up heartbroken, I don't really mind if you come to me. One of these days you have to take me up on a trip to Brazil. Brazil? That's too expensive for me. I never asked you to spend your money. I'll be your sugar mama. Is Brazil very gay friendly? Just hold my bags and take some photos for me, alright? Naked. Well, I'd love to chat more, but I better get going. I'll see you tonight. Alright? You better come or else. Sure. Bye-bye, big sis. Ugh. I know Cecilia was only looking out for me. It was a long shot for me to meet Michelle again. It was a big, big world, and I got nothing else that connected me to Michelle. But somehow, by the luck of the gods, Michelle really did come by to see me. I hope this little miracle did not use up whatever luck I had entirely. Cecilia would be surprised, I bet. I couldn't wait to let her know. She's my closest friend. I wonder what she'll think. I haven't felt so anxiously worked up about something in such a long while. always dancing on the fine line of subtlety between intent and indecision, such is the reality of living between the margins of good and poor society. I knew in my gut I could not and should not push more than this. But was I in the wrong? Was I overthinking? Was it all personal delusion? I know I haven't made my intentions clear, and neither did Michelle. There was an etiquette to follow in everything. If only I had been a man, it would have all been too evident. Some people prefer things like lukewarm water, but I couldn't stand it. Give me something ice cold or scalding hot. Indigestion be damned. I suppose, though, if I were a man, someone like Michelle would have never gone along with me. What do you do? My mother in heaven, I'm sorry. You're watching over an errant daughter. Please, if you are hearing my prayers, please give me the strength and courage to live out the best and most righteous life. I watched Michelle dial a number from my phone. I was cool. I was as composed as the ocean. Michelle would call for a ride home, and I would return to the sea. But it wasn't as if fish were without desire. Bam! It's uncomfortable, the picture of her mother right there on the wall. It happened organically. Our first kiss. I admit the ambiance wasn't quite romantic. The lighting did not really bring out the most flattering complexion in either of us. I could hear the Fong's loud talking again. The smell of Auntie Lee's cooking next door was a temptation of its own. But it was sweet, our kiss. And it was real. Michelle, I don't know any other way to convey my feelings to you. Please, if you're going to push me away, do it now. Michelle quietly accepted the kiss. It was a tender moment we shared. When I opened my eyes, Michelle looked away from me. She pushed me aside, gathered her belongings, and left without another word. Michelle is a person within the margins of society. I was thinking that she might have felt differently about me, though I knew from the beginning that it would be difficult for someone like her to accept such a thing. The idea of romance between two women had probably never crossed her mind before. Would she want more than this? Would she want to pursue this further? Michelle left the apartment in a rush. When I saw her leave in a taxi from my balcony window, it had hurt. It had hurt so much. I didn't know if I would see her again. I wish sometimes that it wasn't like this. Mother in heaven, I've become a wayward daughter. I was 12 years old when I had my first period. When I told my brother about it then, he said I should talk to my dad instead. When I told my dad, he said I should go to the drugstore to get medicine. When I asked the man at the drugstore counter what medicine I should get for bleeding, he told me to go to the hospital. I was scared. I really thought I was going to die and join you in heaven, you know. I told this whole story to the nurse at the hospital reception. She just laughed and handed me a sanitary pad. She said I was an adult now and that I just have to get used to a monthly bleeding. Jesus. I realized then it was different for my brother and father in terms of treatment and biology. And I think since then I became conscious myself. I wanted to be the daughter that I imagined you would have wanted. I really did. But things sometimes don't go the way you want it to go. I remember when I was 13, when all my friends were talking about their crushes, I couldn't join in on their conversation. I felt I was no longer growing up along with them at the same pace. I was first among them to get my period, but I was the last to feel a simple crush. Girl, been there. How could that be? They said I was a late bloomer, but years passed and I could never really bring myself to like another boy. No matter how hard you try, been there. It troubled me. If I couldn't find a boy that I liked, how would I be able to get married and become a good mother like yourself someday? That thought troubled me deeply then. And then it happened. When I was 16, a girl in my class said she liked me, and I liked her back. Simple as that. Just felt right. Maybe I was born with this wayward spirit. I don't even know why I have this inclination in me. Was I a bad person? Was I in the wrong? In the end, I decided it wasn't anything to be ashamed about. It was too much to think about. I never meant to hurt anyone, especially not you and not Dad. Oh, Mother in heaven. I know you're always watching me from above. Please don't think that it was your fault or your absence that made me become this way. I hope you can see this from above and understand, Mother. Please forgive me if I made you sad. I'm doing my best to be a good, honest person for myself and everyone. I wasn't a good daughter to my father, but things between us aren't so bad anymore. It's been 10 years since then. Looking back, I can't believe I still did that. Leaving home the way that I did when I was still fresh from high school. My brother had already left from America. It was just me and my dad at home at the time. And got into a big argument with my dad. He did not agree with my after-school activities or the relationships I chose to pursue. It wasn't normal for a girl of my age to leave home, but it felt as if I had no other choice. I couldn't bear it to be shamed and betrayed by my own flesh and blood day after day. So rather than bending to my father's will, I left home. I'd be like my brother and lived my own life. I had a hard time making out there on my own at first. I spent many sleepless nights wandering the city. I hadn't quite finished high school, so I had a hard time finding a job that could afford much of anything. I was running out of money fast. All I took with me was a bag of clothes and whatever cash I could find in the house. Odd jobs here and there weren't enough to cover my living expenses. I rotated places where I could spend the night. Stayed with friends sometimes, or other times I slept in hostels and cheap hotels. I definitely did not consider going back to my dad as an option then. It was pure luck that I met Cecilia. And that time she was the manager of a bar that I stumbled upon. Something about her particular bar made me feel it wasn't a bad place to be. So I walked up to her and asked for a job. Of course I was rejected, but I had a strong feeling about her. Something told me that Cecilia was someone who will change the direction of my life. I came back every night to see her, and you could say the rest was history. Good evening, gorgeous. That's pretty. You again. Huh, I have a name, you know. Beautiful? The nerve of you. For you, it's Miss Cecilia Cortez. That's a funny last name. Miss. Yes, miss. So what is it? I just want to talk to you. Talk again? How many times do I have to tell you there's no positions here for you? It's not about that. I want to get to know you. Huh? Young girl, you are out of your league. I am? Look at yourself. Showing up here in a girl's school uniform. You're giving your school a bad reputation. What are you trying to pull coming here dressed like that? You think this is a daycare? Well, I'm looking for extracurricular learning. Can you at least change out of that before coming here? People will think I'm intentionally letting in underage kids. Exactly. I don't have any other clothes right now. Alright. I'll hear you out. But not in here. I don't want anyone to think we're up to some funny business. Exactly. Huh? I'm 18, you know. What? You look like you're 13. She really does. Show me your ID card. I forgot it. That's illegal, you know. What's so funny? I'm happy to finally sit down with you. It's like I'm dining with an angel. Gross. An angel? You look like a Charlie's Angel. She kind of does with that outfit, with that pantsuit. Her hairstyle is just like Farrah Fawcett. Oh, poor Farrah Fawcett. It's like the real Farrah is in front of me. Oh, so you recognize my beauty, huh? Yes, you could be a movie star. You're so cheeky. Don't think you'll get far with flattery alone. Yes, miss. You sure have an attitude. So where do you live? I'm staying with a friend right now. Huh. How much money do you have? I have some money. Order what you want. This meal is on me. Stupid. Who are you calling stupid? A baby-faced girl like you will get kidnapped off the streets. If you're going to be independent, you have to be smart about it. That's why I came to see you. What? You can work anywhere. Don't keep bothering me and my establishment. It has to be with you. Say that again. I get a good feeling with you. The lights, the music, all the people. It's comforting to me. I feel really good to be there. That's all. I want to learn from you. And learn how to create such a place for myself. You're strange. I guess. Are you still in school? No, I finished. I see. Can you speak English? I can. Say something. Hello, how are you? Are you visiting Hong Kong? No, sir, you cannot have a photo with me. Huh? Good enough, I suppose. How about your math? I'm an A grade student. What's 14 times 12 minus 18? Oh, for fuck's sake. 150? That is elementary. Anyone would know that. Those Chinese kids don't fuck around with math, do they? You know, I was top of my class for math. A lot of people asked me to be their tutor. Uh-huh, okay. I have a cousin who needs some help at a record store. I assume you can pick up some shifts, right? Yes? Good. I'll put in a good word for you. Thank you. Is that all the gratitude you have for me? Can't I work for you? That again? Come back to me with a few more years under your belt. What can you do at the bar? I can be the bartender. You can drink? I can. What do you even know about bartending? I can make you a drink. Oh, what will you make? I'll make something suitable for an adult like you, between the sheets. Huh, what a precious little girl you are. You're still a diamond in the rough. Learn a thing or two from the real world first. Don't get on my desk. A diamond in the rough? Don't look down on me because I'm much younger than you. Maybe I'll take over your bar someday. Calm down. Hold on, I want to see if there's a drink called in between the sheets. Oh, there is a... Okay, so between the sheets is a cocktail consisting of white rum, cognac, triple sec, and lemon juice. When made with gin instead of rum and cognac, it's called a maiden's prayer. First off, can't have it because it's got rum in it and I'm allergic. And I hate gin. Anyway. Such an attitude. You know, I'm not that much older than you. How old are you then? I don't need to tell you. Okay, baby girl, your milk tea is here. Thank you. I promised Cecilia that I would work hard to repay her. I started working at the record store that she introduced to me. It took several years to save up enough money before I could open my own video store. The original record store had eventually closed down, and Cecilia acquired the lease on the space for a good price. Home video was taking off. I thought it'd be my opportunity to make it big. When they first heard about it, my dad and my brother had their doubts about the video store. It wasn't just about money. I had my own reasons why I wanted to run a video store. It was really hard. Even with Cecilia's help in the beginning, it was difficult to turn a profit. Business was booming for so many people in the new decade. I was about to say that's got to be the 70s. But for me, it seemed like I was going to be left behind in the dust. A few years later, Cecilia had turned the old funk bar into a shiny new disco. A disco 10 years after disco was popular. She threw a big party to celebrate its grand reopening. It was around the time I had just opened the video store. I love that outfit. Honestly, it looks like something I would wear, to be perfectly honest with you, minus the hat. Hey, Samantha. What's got you looking so run down? I look run down? I guess I'm worn out from all the dancing. Ah, there's so many ladies keeping me on the dance floor. I finally got a chance to take a seat. You're so popular. People keep asking me the whole night, who's that sweet dancer? I thought I was supposed to be a star tonight. Really? Well, maybe now's the time you should hire me to work at your bar. I can be your star dancer. We could be famous. What's that crazy talk? What about your video store? Well, it's not like it's really doing that well. Maybe it'd be better to call it quits. Sorry, Cecilia. I don't mean to always be depending on you. How many times do I have to tell you it's not an issue? You think running a business will be that easy? I keep telling you that you'll have to give it more time. Don't get yourself down just yet. Here. Let's have another drink together. Let's celebrate tonight. Come on, Samantha, you're a diamond. You have to let yourself shine. Diamonds? Cecilia, I don't know where I'd be without you. Thank you so much. You're really important to me. You're so grown up now. Look at you. I can't believe I first met you here in a girl's school uniform. Do you like my look tonight? Sure, better than before. Don't you think I match you now? What? Are you drunk? I'm taking that drink away from you. I'm only letting you drink Coke. Come on, Cecilia. Enough acting like a big sis. Why don't we dance the night away? A year later, I was able to turn things around with the video store. Though I'm still close with Cecilia, I never did get a chance to work with her. Funny how things go sometimes. It was Saturday morning. Usually I would be tending my shop on a Saturday, but I had taken the day off as I had plans to meet my dad in Saikong. Hold on. I heard my phone ring. Hello? Oh, Dad, yes, I'm on my way. Okay, I'll pick them up. You don't have to remind me. Okay, I'll see you soon. I was just about to head out when my dad had called. He called to remind me about getting flowers on my way to meet him. He didn't have to remind me. I wouldn't have forgotten, especially for such an occasion. I heard the phone ring again. Again? When the phone sounded the second time, I let it keep ringing. My dad had a habit of calling back to nag me about some other thing. If anything, I was going to see my dad soon. He could talk to me when I saw him. I had to get going if I wanted to meet him on time. I lived not far from the Prince Edward Street flower market. My mother used to bring me there a lot as a child. There were always a wide variety of flowers on display at the open air market. From my earliest memory, I remember my mother had always kept a vase of flowers in our home. Flowers brighten the home and elevate the spirit, she said. My mother, in my memory, was someone who was always putting a smile on her face for everyone. I remember how satisfied she was to bring home a fresh bouquet of flowers. It was something that made her happy. I had gotten a bouquet of her favorite flowers. I was about to get on my bike and leave when my pager started beeping. I never thought I needed a pager, but it had been a gift from Cecilia. She said she needed to keep tabs on my whereabouts. I didn't like carrying it around at first, but now I admit it was quite useful to have. It had been Cecilia calling. I never really got into the whole pager scene. I think they were kind of fizzling out by the time I was of age to do that. My dad actually had like a pager for a very quick time for his job, and then they gave him a cell phone. But that was really weird to... Like, I remember him having a car phone and then like a cell phone. And like he had a pager for like a week, but I never knew how to call him on it or let him know. She probably wanted to meet for dinner later. I call her back tonight. As I put the pager back into my pocket, the pager buzzed again. I should at least hear her message. It wasn't good to ignore Cecilia. Who knows, maybe the shop was on fire. I dialed from the nearest phone booth. Cecilia had left me a message. It was about Michelle. She said briefly that she had met up with Michelle and that Michelle was waiting for me in the store. What was this? Of all the days that I actually have to be out, what should I do? I had a bit of time to spare. Oh, Mother, I'm sorry, there's someone else on my mind today. I am so sorry, little girl. I didn't mean to hit your nose. Please forgive your daughter's impure heart. She can't play around with the games of romance for too much longer. Please understand she's trying her best to live an authentic life. I made my way back to the shop. I saw from afar that the gates were shuttered. Was Michelle still there? I saw someone standing alone in front of the store. It was none other than Michelle. I quickly parked my bike and ran towards her. Michelle! She turned around and her eyes met mine. Please, just for today, come away with me. I had brought Michelle to Saikong to visit my mother's grave. It was a special occasion. My mother is someone dear to me. I wanted Michelle to understand this side of me, too. Afterwards, we had lunch in Saikong and we took a stroll around the town site. It was late afternoon when we had finished looking around. When Michelle pointed out the sign for stargazing, I suggested we go to a place where she could see the stars, or we could see the stars. I didn't want to go back just yet. I wanted to prolong the time we had together for as long as I could. Once we leave this place, would she still want to meet with me? I didn't know yet what she truly thought of me. I was selfish, I know. I didn't want to let go of her time just yet. Sorry. We made our way through the mountain road and down to the beach. It was just the two of us alone that day. The weather was quite warm and it was comfortable in the shade. We sat down in the shade of the trees and we looked out to the sea. Michelle placed a cool pack on my neck. It was a cute gesture. Felt nice. I wanted to lean against her, but I thought against it I couldn't. There was an awkward tension between us. We talked together about this and that, but we both avoided talking directly about what we wanted to know most. Time was leisurely. As time passed by, I felt more at ease, and so did Michelle. We talked, we listened to the waves. I felt at peace. I never felt such a feeling before with anyone. I didn't want the night to come so soon. Eventually, the sun came down slowly, and then one by one the stars appeared in this night sky. We gazed at the stars. Michelle was inquisitive. I wanted to share with her all that I knew, and I was curious to hear from her what she thought. Would she share the same ideas? The same dreams? The same desires? I felt Michelle lean against me. She rested her head on my shoulders. Aww. Michelle had fallen asleep on my shoulder. She slept soundly. She looked a little flushed. It had been a long day for us out in the sun. Her eyes fluttered in her sleep. I wondered if she dreamt a dream. I gazed at her sleeping face and wished upon the stars a small wish. I didn't want to ask too much, but if I could be someone in Michelle's life, I'd be very happy. I didn't want to ask more than that. I just wanted her to be happy. The clouds soon covered up the stars. The night couldn't last forever, and the dream would have to come to an end. It was late into the night. We'd gone back to my apartment. Michelle had been quiet since we returned from the beach. A silent air persisted between us. In my limited years of wisdom, I've learned the best thing to dispel tension was to eat. It's been a long day. Want me to put on a movie, or are you hungry? We can get something to eat. There's still a lot of late-night eateries open here. Sam, I'm not hungry. Oh. I wanted to know from Michelle what she felt about me. I had always been confident about my intuition, but I didn't want to ruin the already perfect day I had. I was content. I didn't want to push Michelle away like I had done the last time. Sam. Michelle? I felt Michelle hold on to me from behind. I turned to face her. She asked me quietly with anticipation in her voice, "How do you feel about me?" Forget it. It's nothing. I shouldn't hesitate. I should tell her how I felt. I like you. What do you mean? I would like us to be more than this. More. If it's something possible with you, it's impossible. We're both. I just think, Michelle, look at me. I wanted to express what I couldn't say in words. Was I unfair to Michelle? I adore Michelle. I didn't want to make her unhappy. If I could ask her one more thing, I wanted Michelle to want me too. I had woken up with Michelle in my arms. The room where I normally slept alone was filled with her presence. Michelle slept in my arms. Her touch was warm and soft. The way her body rested against mine felt like we were made for each other. Would she want to eat breakfast with me? Would she want to spend the day with me? Michelle slept like an angel. I should not wake her up just yet. It was sometime later in the morning that I felt Michelle fidgeting in my arms. She sighed softly. She must have been waking up. She turned to her side with her back towards me. Her tousled hair fell along her jawline and laid on her shoulders and neck. I wanted to trace my fingers along her bare skin. She seemed so delicate in my arms. I wanted to hold her closer. I wanted to call out her name. Michelle? Michelle? Michelle, I like you. Michelle slowly turned to face me. I said to her what I felt sincerely from my heart. Oh, shit. I wanted to cherish this time we had together. Peach! I wanted to cherish this time we had together. I brushed back the hair covering her eyes. I wanted to express to her my affection. I was bursting with happiness to be with her like this. Everything that had happened yesterday was so wonderful. Michelle struggled to say something. I had felt her stiffen in my arms. Her expression darkened. She looked teary-eyed. Did she not feel the same way? I have to go. Michelle. Please, Michelle. Please stay. We can spend the day together. Don't be quiet like this. Talk to me. I can't be like this with you. A pang had rung in my heart. I just can't. Michelle. Don't, Sam. Any more than this, we can't. Michelle. I'm getting dressed. I suppose it couldn't be anything more than this. I watched Michelle just dress quietly. I didn't want her to know that I was hurt. Michelle made her choice. I was losing her. What could I have done to stop her? I saw Michelle leave in a taxi from my balcony window. This time, bittersweet tears streamed from my eyes as I watched her leave. Had this heart-pounding romance come to a close already? I cried all that morning. Michelle calmly walked out of my life. There was no melodrama, nor any fanfare. It was a simple, objective end. I wish it didn't have to be this way. If there was a chance I'd see Michelle again, I hope I would be strong enough to. Okay, hold on one second. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to overwrite here. Well, yeah, let's just go ahead and overwrite because I already hit that. So we have reached the end of another chapter. I kind of like how they went back and told it from Sam's side of the thing. That was a really interesting concept. I'd like to see, hopefully we'll see more of that in the near future. But for now, we're going to leave this episode off here. And we will go ahead and continue on later in the episode. So hopefully everything will be good there. But for now, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to chomp down that like button if you did like it. Leave a comment down below with any other game suggestion or video ideas that you'd like to see from me. Share the channel with your friends and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already to see other videos that I've done. I will see you all in the next one.